All right, we're going to be talking about absolute value. The absolute value of a number is its distance from 0. All right, so the absolute value can be written using 2 lines on each side of the number. So you would read this as, what is the absolute value of negative 39? Or you might see the 2 lines with the negative 39, or whatever number it is given to you, inside the lines. And what that's asking is how many jumps from 0 is that number? So since it's a distance, it can't be negative. You can't go out and run negative 2 miles, or you can't take a ruler and measure negative 4 inches. It just doesn't work that way. Distance can't be negative. So the absolute value of a number is always positive. So the absolute value, how many jumps from 0, negative 39 is, to 0, is 39. So negative 39's absolute value is 39. How many jumps away is 61 from 0? Well, it's 61. How many jumps, excuse me, how many jumps away is negative 29 from 0? So it has an absolute value of 29. Absolute value of 87 is 87. Absolute value of negative 394 is 394. Absolute value of 1 is 1. The absolute value of negative 1 is 1. The absolute value of negative 37 is 37. And the absolute value of 62 is 62. So you'll notice that they're all positive because absolute value is the distance to 0, and distance can't be negative. So can 2 numbers have the same absolute value? Yes. Okay. So if you'll notice up here, negative 1 and positive 1 both had an absolute value of 1. Those are the only 2 numbers that can have an absolute value of 1. Okay? So if I were to say negative, what is the absolute value of negative 2 and what is the absolute value of 2? Notice those are opposites, but they're going to both going to be 2 jumps away from 0. They're both going to have the same absolute value. All right, so this is going to be a fill-in-the-blank answer on your homework, okay? This is going to be a fill-in-the-blank answer on your homework. So we're going to explain this, that it's opposites. It's those opposites. It's negative 2 and 2, or 1 and negative 1 that have the same absolute value as each other. So opposites have the same absolute value. Now remember, you can pause this anytime if I'm going too fast. I just don't want the video to be too long. So I'm also going to box this because this is going to be an answer choice on your homework as well, or a fill in the blank, I should say, answer. So on this one, the football team gained 20 yards. So I'm going to look here and I'm going to say, okay, gained 20 yards. The integer that best represents that situation is going to be a positive 20, okay, because gained is a positive change word. So we're going to write an equivalent statement using absolute value. So in real life, excuse me, the football coach, excuse me, the football coach doesn't come off the field and say, positive 20 yards. He comes off and says, okay, we gained 20 yards. So what he does is he uses the absolute value of positive 20, and he just says 20, and then he goes ahead and uses a positive change word to let you know that he's talking about a positive 20. And we do that all the time. So instead of, if I mowed a yard and I got paid $20 to do that, I wouldn't go to my mom excited and say positive $20. We just don't talk like that. So we might say, I was paid $20. And we would know that that means that's a positive 20. So what we do is we take the absolute value of positive 20 and we go ahead and we put that in our sentence, and then we go ahead and use a word in the situation that means a positive 20. Okay, let's look on the back. Number 1, which number below could be the absolute value of another number? So absolute value, remember, it always has to be positive, and the only positive number there is going to be B. Number 2, what is the absolute value of 4.27? 4 and 27 hundredths. So again, remember, it has to be positive, and it has to have the same absolute value or value or distance to 0 that this number does. So this one has the number in the, the decimal in the wrong place. This answer choice is a negative. Remember, absolute value has to be positive. This looks okay. This one's completely missing the decimal, so it's not going to be equal to this up here. So it's going to be C is your best answer choice. Number 3, Zelle has a current bank account balance of negative $32.98. What is the absolute value, okay, absolute value of her bank account? So again, we want a positive number that's the same distance away from 0, okay? Or we want to know what the distance from 0 is. So this is looking good. This is a negative, okay? We know that absolute value is positive. This and this one have the decimal in a different place than our original number. So A is going to be our answer choice. Number 4, which set of numbers currently shows a number in the first spot, the opposite of that number in the second spot, and then the absolute value of that number in that order? So it'll give you a number, its opposite, and then its absolute value. So remember, absolute value has to be positive. So we have a number, we have 75 and 4/10, and then we have 7 and 54/100. Not the same number at all. So that answer choice is out. These right here on B, these two numbers are opposites. Okay, that's what it wanted. And then it wanted this third number to be the absolute value of this number. And it is positive, and it looks like it's the same number. These two are opposites, but this right here needs to be an absolute value, and it's not. It's a negative. So we know that can't be its absolute value. These, again, are not opposites. All right, this should be a positive here to make that answer choice correct. So B is our correct answer choice.